This chapter was written by Revital, Nimri, Moshe, Phillip, and me. Here are my disclosures. For the chapter, we reviewed 15 articles, and the common topics were artificial intelligence as applied to decision support, closed-loop control, and also flavors with multi-hormonal therapies. So the first paper I'm going to review is the Advice for You trial, and that is a randomized control trial that randomized 108 people to artificial intelligence decision support and physician decision support, trying to show non-inferiority of artificial intelligence to the doctor. It succeeded in that task. The time in range was similar, and so was the time below 54 milligrams per deciliter, there were a bit more adverse events on the physician support compared to AI. A similar artificial intelligence topic was discussed in this paper. For those who like machine learning techniques, KNN stands for K nearest neighbor, and that's a machine learning technique which was used here to generate advice to people for MDI using multiple daily injections, weekly advice, and that weekly advice was simulated for 52 weeks, and the results seem to indicate that the KNN DSS performed well, increased the time in range and other indicators of glycemic control, and agreed with the clinician's recommendation 68% of the time. And then we'll have to ask Peter, how do you simulate human behavior for 1 year? The next trial is a pivotal trial of closed-loop control in children done by a multi-site consortium. 101 children were recruited and randomized 3-to-1 to closed-loop control, in this case the Control-IQ system by Tandem Diabetes Care, and control group, which was sensor-augmented pump. The trial was published in the New England Journal of Medicine by my colleague Marc Breton and the group, and it demonstrated increased time in range, and all other factors of glycemic control were improved as well. So that trial served as a base for the approval of this system by FDA for children ages 6 to 13. Now, the next large-scale trial was the trial of Medtronic's 780G compared to 670G. That was done by Dr. Bergenstahl and published in Lancet. 112 participants were randomized for 12 weeks across the two systems. And I should note that the only difference between the two systems is a correction bolus algorithm based on the MD Logic system by DreamMed Technologies. Everything else is the same, sensors, all of that is the same, and that addition of correction boluses improved time in range by approximately 4% in this new system. So moving on with another pivotal trial that was published during the review period, that was the pivotal trial of Omnipod 5. It was also a multi-center trial led by my colleague Sue Brown. Published in Diabetes Care, 112 children, 129 adults. It was non-randomized trial, prospective following of these participants over 3 months. It demonstrated from baseline to the closed-loop period pretty dramatic increase in all parameters related to diabetes control, and as a result, the system was cleared by FDA in January this year. So dual hormone with glucagon is back in a small study of 23 people that was published by the group around in Reda, and 23 participants were randomized to 2 weeks fully closed-loop control, meaning no announcements or anything like that, versus insulin pump. The time in range increased by more than 30%. Hypoglycemia was dramatically reduced. There is glucagon use, and the time the algorithm was active was above 97%. The only note I would add to this impressive study is that the control group was pump only, and that's a low bar for a closed-loop system. You should up it up to insulin-only closed-loop control. And finally, a new study that was focusing on combination therapies was the DAPA DREAM study, which added SGLT2 inhibitor to closed-loop control twice daily 10 milligrams, and just this addition increased substantially all parameters of glycemic control over 24-hour period, supervised 24-hour period, without any changes to the control algorithm. I think that this is very promising, and I will present more on that tomorrow in the morning plenary session. I view that as the next step of automated insulin delivery, to be seen how the engineers will handle the control algorithm. So with that, thank you for your attention. I'm right on time.